Coming up on MovieBuff, the end of the world is nigh, according to action blockbuster 2012. Emile Hirsch and Liev Schreiber go all peace and love in 60s drama Taking Woodstock, and Brit legend Michael Caine is a man you don't want to mess with in Harry Brown.
As disaster movies go, it doesn't get much bigger than 2012. But then what did you expect from the king of the genre, Roland Emmerich? The man behind Independence Day and The Day After Tomorrow has made sure that we're in for another thrilling ride with all the fires, floods and road collapses one film can handle. But before we get too carried away with the amazing special effects, which are brilliant, here's the man himself to explain what is actually going on.
Well, it's like kind of a movie, about, where there's a global cataclysm, which like kind of brings on a global flood in a nutshell. And there's like kind of two groups of people. The one who know, which are the Noahs, which is actually politicians all over the world, which in a conspiracy way, like kind of know that this will happen. And they're like secretly building ships. That's the people who know. And then the people who don't know is like, like kind of Jackson Curtis is an unsuccessful writer who like kind of finds out by coincidence and then goes and gets his divorced wife and his children, which he's estranged from, and like kind of tries to rescue them and goes all around the world, to get on these ships. And it's like the race of this family the movie is mainly about.
When they tell you not to panic, that's when you run!
You call me back when you calm down.
Let's go!
Yeah, John Cusack is Jackson Curtis, the man desperately trying to save his family.
As the film gets more and more chaotic, it actually gets more and more intimate with the characters because the geography of where they're safe gets shorter and shorter and time runs out and they all try to reconcile with each other and, bury the past and get straight with each other. So it ends up being sort of pretty emotional by the end. And
here's something else that might make you feel funny. The film is actually based on the true ancient Mayans calendar, which stops in 2012, hence the name of the film. The Mayans lived around 500 AD. Now, they were noted for being very good at things like astronomy and maths. So then, might the world really end in 2012?
I don't know. A lot of people believe it, and I'm not really a believer.
I don't know if it'll end then, but it could certainly change a lot.
The 21st of December of 2012.
Guess we'll find out in a few years. In the meantime, for an expertly made apocalypse story, check out 2012.
Catastrophe has struck the world.
Hey, man.
There's an old saying, if you remember the 60s, chances are you weren't there. And the same can be said for one of the most famous events of that period. So for those who need a little reminder, try Taking Woodstock.
All the way from the George Washington Bridge, it's basically a parking lot. Police are planning the first ever emergency closing of the entire thruway.
Based on the book of the same name, it's a comedy drama following the true story of Elliot Tiber, who helped to secure the location for the now infamous festival in his hometown of Bethel in upstate New York.
So you want to use these fields here? That's why we're here. You'll have to tidy up after yourself. Of course.
Imelda Staunton also pops up as his mum. It's directed by Ang Lee, who gave us Brokeback Mountain and Crouching Tiger, although his interest in the fest doesn't stem from having attended one.
The 1980 Simon Garfunkel reunion.
Not sure that counts. But it is a step in a more light-hearted direction for the Oscar winner, who admits it's the happiest shoot he's ever had.
I was very shy from my cast usually. Other than giving direction, I don't smile that much, but I was very happy and admit that I'm happy. You sort of become the movie you're making, and since I'm making Woodstock, and what the hell.
Getting into the hippie groove. Sadly, that's something audiences won't be able to do. Despite performances from legends like Janis Joplin and Jimi Hendrix back in '69, we never get to hear or see anything from the 3-day extravaganza. What we get is all about the journey to get the show on the road and the Woodstock goers' experience, which the makers say is more realistic.
Most people are in the outskirts, sharing their time with their friends, like hi, and they probably see the stage at the center of the universe, as Mike Klein described it. under influence. I think there's something more important than the stage. I think most important thing is the idea of utopia.
It is one of the letdowns, and at points makes the 110-minute feature feel as if it lacks a climax. It is a nice enough slice of the peace and love generation though, saved in part by a standout turn from Liev Schreiber, as you've never seen him before.
You won't regret it.
Do you need some kind of uniform?
Oh, I've got uniforms, babe.
EastEnders baddie Larry Lamb, Spandau Ballet lead singer Tony Hadley, and Britain's new heavyweight world champion David Hay were all out for the premiere of Sir Michael Caine's new movie Harry Brown.
Popular and very busy, Sir Michael is one man who doesn't really stop. In 2008 he appeared in Batman movie The Dark Knight. Then this summer we saw him in low-budget drama Is Anybody There? And now he's back in the title role of thriller Harry Brown.
So Harry Brown is a pensioner living on his own in an East London estate. His life changes one day when his friend is murdered by a gang of thugs and he feels compelled to do something about it.
I don't agree with someone who's going to be a vigilante. But what I also don't agree with is society that puts people in a position where they might become one. And I mean, that's the reason, apart from the obvious actors' reasons of a wonderful part in a great script, I did it because I thought it was a kind of wake-up call for this country.
Harry Potter actor David Bradley plays Harry's buddy Leonard. Now he admits the movie is violent but says the message behind it is the opposite.
This is when things get out of hand, this is what can happen. And it's an everyday life feature for a lot of people, so hopefully that message comes across rather than it being just a violent kind of revenge movie.
So a hard-hitting storyline and an A-list cast. Not a bad combination for first-time director Daniel Barber. But is his first feature any good? Well, he thinks so.
Yeah, I'm really pleased. It's my feature film debut. It's very exciting. It's a dream come true to be in the Odeon Leicester Square, you know, showing the film. It's kind of what I've worked really hard for over many years, you know, and I've always, I suppose, in my heart of hearts wanted to make a feature film, and I get to make my first one with Michael Caine is amazing.
Certainly, if the number of famous faces out on the red carpet is a measure of success, Harry Brown will be a big hit.